Spoiler alert. Hello everyone, and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we are headed to a new game that has caught my attention. A new action RPG titled Dungeons of Adira, and this game is developed by Monster Tooth Studio. Now I want to be as clear as possible. As of right now, I have not played this game. I am bogged down with updating all my build guides for 0.8.2 for Last Epoch, and I am doing part 2 of my Torchlight 3 for the Cursed Captain. But once all of that is complete, this is currently number 1 on my list, and hopefully by the end of this video, you will see why. As always, I will share my thoughts. Please feel free to share yours in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to support smaller channels. All right. Let's jump right into this. Right now I am on the website PC Gamer. Title of this article, Dungeons of Adira is indie, Souls-like Diablo in Unreal Engine. Now this is one of my ongoing jokes that I always talk about in my videos and on my channel. Journalists will always put Diablo in the title because it's such a buzzword to gain clicks. With the exception of loot, there is literally nothing else that is the same about Dungeons of Adira and Diablo. Just putting that out there. With the exception of loot. Indie developer Monster Tooth Studio has a promising looking action RPG that's been in development for a while now. Dungeons of Adira, a kind of procedural roguelite action RPG with stamina and dodging combat of a Souls-like subgenre. Wow, how many buzzwords can you get in a single sentence? A procedural roguelite action RPG with stamina and dodging combat of a Souls-like subgenre. It is also made in Unreal Engine, and you can tell it looks good. A far cry from pixels you'll usually see when indie and Souls-like are in the same sentence. Adira has been in early access in Steam since last summer, steadily cranking out new features and dropping updates, and has a pretty approving user reviews. We'll check that out. It's a game centered around procedurally generated dungeons that make up parts of a structural campaign. It's also about loot, which is what you'd expect from a game with Diablo dropping in the headline. I didn't even know that sentence was in this. At least you own up to it, that's good. Monster Tooth Studio is planning for the game to release in late 2021, at which the price point will be increased. Dungeons of Adira is currently $15 on Steam. Okay, before we head over to Steam, and check out the game, check out the reviews, check out the cost, check out the system requirements. Enjoy the early access launch trailer for Dungeons of Adira.
It didn't always used to be like this. Our land, our town, torn apart by the Empire. In this brave new world, there's no looking back. We must fight to reclaim what's ours. Dungeons of Edera. Early access now available.
Now that we have all seen that teaser trailer, I have to say one thing that I think the article really hit the nail on the head is the visuals. Normally in an early access indie title, the visuals are kind of bad, and I have to say that Unreal Engine really takes this game to the next level. So I'm very happy about that. Right now we are on the official Steam page for Dungeons of Adira. Dungeons of Adira is a roguelite action RPG dungeon crawler featuring procedurally generated levels where you battle through hordes of monsters to restore Adira to its former glory. Now I have to say, this is what makes me want to play this game. What I'm about to say is why this is next on my list once I finish that other content. It's because of current user reviews. I don't care about what games journalists really say. I don't care about what the company says. I care about what the players, what the community is saying. Right now it's got 316 reviews, which are very positive at 82%. And then its recent 44 reviews is 84. Now I want to be clear. This is a small game with not a large player base. Okay, I'm not being paid to promote this game by any means. If you look at the actual Steam charts right now, 26 people played over the last 41 minutes. Its 24-hour peak is 40, and its all-time peak is 324. Okay? But to be fair, okay, let's just say this game was consistently hitting its all-time peak. I mean, that puts it right around Slowromancer, puts it right around Wolcen, puts it right around, like, higher than Torchlight. Like, just because it's an indie game doesn't mean that, you know, there's not going to be a lot of people playing it, but that's where it's at. Let's read some of these reviews. Actually, I want to read this really long review. Let's go right here, okay? You ready? This is going to give you a synopsis of the game. I'm probably going to screw up reading it. Great game. I started it thinking I was going to have fun and chill experience. So with a lot of optimism, finished the tutorial and went into my first dungeon in which I died and lost all my loot. Then I proceeded to enter another 3 dungeons in which I died helplessly again. After dying 4 times in a row, I started playing the game more carefully, like a Souls game, and survived my first dungeon. Later in my run, I was loaded with loot and had a fire mage partner, so I decided I was ready to set the difficulty to hard. I grabbed my best loot and headed for the dungeon. I was managing very well until the boss obliterated me and lost my best loot and my partner. I was totally raged and grabbed my other loot from my stash and went to another hard dungeon. I did this like 2 more times because I was desperately trying to gather more loot to compensate for my lost ones and was completely tilted. So after dying like 1,000,000 times, to no one's surprise, I lost all of the stuff I gathered and I was tilted AF, but cleared my mind and went into a normal dungeon again and started farming loot again. I got myself some really good loot to use and gather and a lot of extra loot in my stash. Ready? Then I decided to go into the hard dungeon again and finally won against the boss. I was overflowing with happiness, and the best part of all of that is it happened in only 4 hours. 10 out of 10, I will lose all my stuff again. It sounds like he's been playing for days. All that happened in 4 hours. I love that comment. Fun game, lots of loot, really fun and well-made action slasher. Death really stings too. Let's see. Okay, first off, this game is in early access and you can feel it. The game has some super cool ideas and the combat feels good. You can toggle lock on target or just fight without lock. Oof, this probably shouldn't be $15. It's simply not up to stuff mechanically. Perhaps someday, but it's not the day. All right, last comment. I'm loving this game so far. I cannot wait to see what the team adds next. This, I think, will be one of those games that not a lot of people will hear about at first, but when they do, it will take off like crazy. I've been waiting for a game like this for a very long time. These comments make me want to play. They really, really do. Okay, so this is what it says on the official Steam page. Unite the factions of Adira. Never play the same dungeon twice. This is something they don't talk about in the article. Your character played your way. Persistent progression and an open skill tree means each level and skill point you choose your character's path. So you will actually be, you know, building your own character. And then obviously, even though this is built on Unreal Engine, still the system requirements are not that big. Intel Core i5, AMD Ryzen 5 1500X, memory 8 gigs of RAM, storage 6 gigabytes of storage space, and then GTX 680 or HD 7970. So really any game is going to be able to play this. Now even creating this video, I'm thinking about buying it right now because look at that juicy 10% off. You can get it instead of $15, you can get it for $13.50. I guess I just really enjoy supporting indie studios. All right, everybody, that's the video, quick and easy. Did I sell you? Are you curious? Are you ready to pony up $13 to support an indie game that is getting good reviews? Let me know in the comment section below. If you have not joined the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. We're approaching 1,000 members, great conversations every day. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from game to game together so you never start the server alone. Link for that Discord is in the description. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something or at least were entertained. Aaron out.